Welcome back to another episode of Trading Secrets. Today we are joined by the newest cast member on Bravo's Summer House, Jesse Solomon. Jesse joined season 8 of the hit reality show after working a career in corporate finance and the music industry. Throughout this season, Jesse has become a fan favorite of the show and even opened up about being a cancer survivor after being diagnosed with testicular cancer back in 2017. We are going to learn why Jesse decided to get into the reality TV space, how he has specifically was casted onto Summer House, and if he plans to keep working in corporate America, and how surviving cancer has shaped his life moving forward. Jesse, thank you so much for being on Trading Secrets.
Thanks for having me. The nicest guy on the internet welcomes me to his podcast. What a feeling.
What an honor. Well, you are now one of the newest and hottest guys on a big show. I mean, when I say that and you look at your career, being in the music industry, WME, corporate finance, now reality TV, look at you. It's like you got a stylist here. You're looking good. The shirt's unbuttoned. Girls are coming to your front door. What does it feel like? Like, did you ever expect this?
You know, it feels right. I never was trying to be on reality TV, but I was always just, the main character of my own movie. So now that everybody else seems to like me, it's been really fun. I'm just so grateful for the whole experience.
What was that main character before Bravo cameras caught you?
I mean, I'm just very authentically myself, I think. I'm just high energy and fun-loving. Driven, but at the end of the day, I just like to have fun.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you won't go in literally this short time frame, very small following on TikTok and Instagram. Now within just a very short period of time, over 100,000 followers on Instagram, 30,000 followers on TikTok. And you had worked in the entertainment space before, right? So you've seen this a little bit, and you've also seen the movement of reality TV in many ways. Mm-hmm. You've seen the shift where it was extremely successful. We're in a stage now where there's a lot of reality TV, but it's very diluted. Like, it's hard to make the big career move out of it. Yeah. You made a huge move, like leaving your corporate job to pursue this. What was the thought process?
I mean, I still work a bit, but I think at the end of the day, we're in a digital first world. So I wasn't like trying to become an influencer by being on reality TV, but I think it's important to have a personal brand, and so many opportunities can come out of that. So I'm still kind of coming to terms with like having a lot of followers, because I'm not like a digital creator by nature. And I've always thought it was kind of cringe to like be a guy posting on social media, but like that's just the reality of our world today. And it's just been fun, and I'm embracing it.
Do you still think it's cringe to be a guy posting on social media for money?
I mean, it's a business at the end of the day, and I'm a businessman. Yeah. So, if I'm making money from it, like, that's not cringe. And I try to do it in a way that is kosher.
Okay, I like that. We'll get into the money aspect. That's what we do here. At least we got to try to do here. That's for sure. Before we get into the money aspect, how did Summer House find you? I mean, the show is blowing up. You know, so many seasons. It's virality left and right on every single platform, social media wise. So they're looking for everyone and anyone. Why you? How'd they find you?
I mean, this time last year, I had not been in contact with anybody. I'd met Kyle a little bit, just partying in the city as Kyle does.
Where did you guys party?
Oh, make believe one time. Like,
so you were like definitely a finance bro. You are a finance bro.
Well, listen, I mean, I went to University of Miami for music business.
Great school.
Yeah, and I studied vocal jazz performance. I then worked at William Morris in the mailroom, music department, became an agent. And then left with my business partner from WME to start my own business. And I did that for 4 years. Okay. And I got so far away from the music business. We raised $11 million. We pivoted a million times. And I ended up divorcing him amicably and retreated into finance because I thought it was like the most risk-averse way to be successful. And I kind of had to like hush my personality and tone it down, and that it just wasn't a good fit for me. So I had a couple jobs, some really good jobs. I was able to network my way into like a great place, and I'm super grateful for all those experiences. and the 2 companies I worked at. But now I have more of like a commission-based role in finance, and then I'm also doing all the reality TV stuff.
Okay, cool. So that kind of connects to you were probably suppressed a little bit to showcase all that you have with your. So then you're going to the club. That's when you meet Kyle. How does Kyle connect you to the show?
The producers reached out to me June 14th. Kyle and I had talked about it a little bit as a joke. But then, June 14th, we talk really quickly. I'm on a family vacation. It was kind of just like, listen, it's Summer House, so it's not like a small show. So that's why I even took the call. I was actually at a Amex lounge in Minneapolis traveling from a conference. And I was just like, listen, I probably am not going to do this because my life is really good right now. Like, I'm about to move back to Miami. I have this good job. Everything's going well. But like, I am your guy for this.
Why?
I was like, I'm tall. I talk to every girl at the bar. Like, I go to the Hamptons every summer. Like, I'm your guy. And she's like,
are you 6'5"?
Yeah, I'm 6'5".
Are you in finance?
Yeah.
Do you have a trust fund?
No trust fund, unfortunately.
Brown eyes, 6'5", in finance for all those single ladies out there.
I'm ticking a couple of the boxes, missing a couple too.
Okay.
But hopefully we'll be okay without the trust fund.
There you go.
We're going to make our own trust fund for the next gen.
I love to hear that. All right, so they approach you, and you're a smart guy, especially you've been in the music space. You know how branding works. It sounds like you already had a pretty good idea of what your brand would be. But what do you think, and especially like I talked about this in The Bachelor, you know, they got chess pieces and they know like at least what they think each person's going to be like. What did you expect your brand to be when you decided to sign on? Yeah,
I would say first and foremost was my cancer story.
Yeah.
I thought that would help a lot of people. Like, even if the whole house hated me and I hated the experience and, you know, worst case scenario, at least I would be able to help one person with my story and people would relate to it and connect. And that's honestly been the most rewarding piece of all this. But then also I'm not stupid. Like, I knew there would be business opportunities, and I feel like I've been so aggressively hunting down and, you know, reaching out, doing outgoing my whole life. And finally I'm in a place with leverage where I have incoming opportunities and it feels so good.
Yeah. People are coming to you now, right? Which is a whole different ball game.
Totally.
Let's go, and we'll talk about what that ball game looks like now. Let's go to previous jobs you had. So when you worked at WME as a music agent, people hear that, especially back home. They have no idea what that means, how much you make, and like, it sounds cool. Is it cool? How much can you make?
Dude,
what does it look like? What's that job like?
The best dates in New York City.
Wait, why? Because you just told people what you did?
No, the perks. Like, we booked concerts for all of WME's roster in the New York area is what like the music department does. They're like a travel agent for musicians.
Interesting. So give me an example of what that would look like.
Like, Drake is performing at MSG. WME does the deal. They take a typical talent agent takes 10%. If you're Drake, it's probably lower. Okay, so Drake books at MSG. WME will actually book him there. The agent that books Drake there typically would take 10%. Drake obviously has leverage, so let's just say it's 7%. He'll get 7%. He or she will get 7% of whatever Drake's paid. Correct. Okay. So was your role to be one of those agents to like book a Drake? Yeah, except I was not cool enough to ever sign anybody remotely close to Drake. My partner and I were the agents for Harry Potter live in concert. Wow. So we would actually. So that's where you brought your dates? So I would have symphony dates, but because I was part of the music department, I had access to everyone on our roster. Yep. So, I mean, in the mailroom, you get paid minimum wage. Like, you're eating shit for breakfast. You eventually get onto someone's desk as their assistant. You don't even get an email with your own name. It says, like, their name _ASST at WME. And then maybe you get to coordinator. I was very quickly promoted at a young age because I went into this niche that nobody else cared about. Booking Harry Potter. You know, I came into WME, like going to Ultra, and I was like, I want to work in EDM. And then I get there and my, you know, now former business partner's like, listen, so I've got this huge Harry Potter project with orchestra. Like, I don't have time to interview you right now, but like, we gotta just start booking shows. Like, are you in? And I was like, this guy's young, he's fun. Like, he wants me to actually do some of the selling. And I was like, it sounds like a good opportunity. I can always go into EDM or whatever the fuck later.
Yeah.
Can I swear on this podcast?
You can swear. You can say whatever you want. So at the height of your career at WME, give me an idea, like around how much do you make base and then like bonus? What does it look like?
Yeah, so I would say mailroom assistant, it's like minimum wage. They might have increased it a little bit. And then coordinator, you know, a little bit more. As you're a first year agent, like it's still not great. Like you're approaching
like 60
six
grand?
figures.
100 grand?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like you'd think it'd be better for like
for a WME
agent at the
yeah.
number one agency.
Yeah.
But then you get a bonus, but like the bonuses, oh man, I'm probably not supposed to talk about this.
Well, it's financial transparency here.
Yeah.
You were underwhelmed with the bonuses compared to what they should have been?
Yeah, because listen, there's agents who sign clients and there's agents who book clients for the guys who sign. It's like some people bring in business and some people are the territory agent for the Northeast and they book all the EDM guys in the Northeast. And so that's like a much lower commission percentage.
Okay.
So listen, I don't know what everybody's making, but the top agents, yeah, you can make a lot, but there's only a few of those guys.
What's a lot? Over 7 figures?
Yeah. Yeah. The top agents in the music business are making $1 million plus.
Okay. Who is like, when you're in the music agency business and you're working, who is like the person?
When I was
like
there,
Scooter Braun, is that?
No, so Scooter Braun's a manager. I mean, I think they also have a label. He does a lot of different stuff, but the agents are not typically like household names.
Okay, so they're much more under the radar.
Yeah, like I could say some guys' names that you
wouldn't recognize who they are. Okay,
yeah.
So you get out of that business, and then we're gonna get into Summer House in just a second for all my Summer House fans. But you did mention that you started a business with a business partner. You then later amicably divorced from that business partner. But the one thing that caught my ear was you raised $11 million. Is that what you said?
Yeah, we
Tell me
raised
about
money
that.
from VC, and we're actually trying to close the acquisition of that business today. 3:00 is actually the meeting.
The acquisition of what business?
It's called Mickey.
Okay, little water break here for Jesse.
We started off trying to be what we were doing at William Morris, and just make it digital. So originally it was a brand licensing marketplace where manufacturers and brands could connect online and negotiate deals, royalty payouts, contracting, et cetera. Really how that whole licensing world should work, you know, automating the agent out of the equation. And not just for brands in entertainment, but for food and beverage, digital, fashion. And it was very difficult. You know, Disney does not need some startup to help them license out Mickey Mouse because they make billions of dollars in licensing revenue every year.
Sure.
And we were like, we got to pivot. So we're kind of like getting two sides of a marketplace. Like we wanted manufacturers to sign up. So we're putting out Google ads saying, are you a US manufacturer?
Yeah.
Sign up for Mickey to sell your product overseas. We thought that would be kind of like our niche. It was like a reverse Alibaba. Alibaba sells 100,000 t-shirts from China to the United States, but there was no website to buy the cotton used to manufacture those t-shirts. And we're like the largest.
So you're like a raw materials.
Raw materials, an Amazon for raw materials, an Amazon for commodities, an American Alibaba. That was kind of like an idea we had toyed with in our minds. And we were so successful at WME that we were like, we're going to be billionaires. Like, this is the greatest idea ever. It's going to be easy.
Where did you guys raise $11 million?
So our first round was friends and family. Then we did $1 million pre-seed round with Lightbank, which is a group out of Chicago who's been with us, you know, the whole time. They joined our board, and then Lear Hippo out of New York led our true seed round. That was a $3.5 million round. And then after that, we did a $5 million convertible note that was supposed to convert into our A. and then the market's changed and the A never came and we raised an extension. So we've really been just like piecing it together ever since that Lear Hippo round back in the day.
Interesting time to do it, obviously, with the whole market shift and where money, the cost of capital, where they're investing, how much, all the things. The quick question I have for you is, when you divorced from that partnership, what did it look like? Did you have, like, did you walk away with any money? How'd you determine the valuation? What did the exit look like?
Yeah, so I was 2/3 vested at the time. So as a founder, you get equity, but then you become an employee of your own company to, inspire people to stay with the company. So they have to earn their equity over time. I had been there 3 years, so I got put on a new vesting schedule when the new investor came in. It's all semantics, but I had 2/3 of my equity and still a meaningful piece of the company. And, you keep getting diluted more and more over time as more investors come in. But yeah, if we get acquired, I will make money.
You'll be in good shape. How much were we talking? Millions?
We're definitely not talking about that,
okay,
brother.
We're talking about hundreds of thousands?
Definitely six figures.
So we got a 6-figure check coming if things
we
work
don't
out.
have it coming. We don't talk about things before
you
they
gotta
happen.
manifest
Yeah,
it.
fuck,
You
brother.
gotta manifest it. All right.
That would be a good thing if that happened, but we're not going to say it's happening until it happens.
Okay, we'll have you back on when you do. And I want to talk about your branding with Summer House and then how you're going to transition this into a longer term business. Before I get into the branding, of course, things that happen on the show then connect to your branding. So I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, when you first started on the show, there was like people are trying to like figure out Jesse, like, all right, what's the deal here? Like, where is he at? And then they grew, they heard your story. And I think it was like a snowball effect. The snowball kept getting bigger, and the growth was there, and people had a big liking towards you. But there's also a little bit of drama because you're this tall, handsome man, and there's beautiful women on that show, like Paige to Sorber, right? But she's in a relationship with people that really like Craig, and there's all these things, and you're doing a little flirting. Like, what's your take on, when you're thinking about brand and business, how to manage some of these things that could like severely impact your brand, even though you might have interest?
Yeah, I think brands today are more open to people on TV who are drinking and partying and hooking up with girls. You just have to be
That's a line we haven't heard on the show. I like it.
So you have to be a good person, and like I can only be myself. And I can be honest, and as long as I'm not deceiving anyone or lying and just being a bad person, I think brands still want to align with you.
Is the flirting that's happening, like that is at least speculation, with like an Amanda or a Paige, do you think that's blown out of proportion, or do you think there's some validity from fans?
People love it. With Paige, the first day I show up to the house, the producers are like, let's have a big season.
Yeah.
I'm like, tequila shots, let's go.
Yeah.
And I get drunk and I say something like just a little flirtatious.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, I said, it could be good for you. She says, good for you. She puts me in a body bag, just absolutely dominates me. So I'm like, you can take a shot out of my dent.
I feel like that's what Paige does. She puts people in body bags.
Yeah, and like, I didn't know what to expect. On the show, nobody told me she had a boyfriend. I obviously knew she had a boyfriend, but I was like acting like this was, my first time meeting Paige.
Yeah.
So, and then I go the whole season forgetting that I had kind of like flirted with her that day. And flirting's all about intent anyways, right?
It's true.
Like, I wasn't trying to do anything. I was just being friendly, happy-go-lucky Jesse. Anywho, as the season goes on, it kind of dissipates. Craig didn't think it was a big deal. Like, he was a total gentleman about it because he knows that it was all in good fun. And with Amanda, it's like my friend's wife.
Yeah. Like, I mean, Kyle was just here. There didn't seem to be any tension between you two.
Kyle's got enough to worry about. He's like running a huge business. Like, he trusts me and he trusts Amanda. Like, Girls need compliments. Everybody needs compliments.
Because you'll even in the comments on Instagram and stuff, like Mando will put a picture, you're like looking hot or something. Like you'll
but
throw it
I
in
do
there.
the same thing to every girl on our cast and all my girlfriends in real life.
Yeah.
Like that's just how I am.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to gas up my girls.
Yeah.
I want them confident. They can, half the battle is how you feel.
Okay, so no beef between you and any of the boyfriends who've been on the show before. Obviously, everything with Amanda and Paige is fun friendship. So that's good to know that. How about your dating life? You dating anyone? You seeing anyone? What's that look like?
Of course.
Yeah,
No.
are you on Raya swiping away? What are you doing?
So I'm on
You be the next
Raya.
Bachelor?
I never say never, but I think The Bachelor is a bit different from my show. I haven't been dating as much as I was over the summer. I think I was just like really settled in over the summer and going to the Hamptons every weekend, meeting girls, dating in the city. Right now, just like a lot of things are happening with my career. So like, dude, last night I was on TikTok live for the first time watching the finale. I was like, I did an Amazon live during the day, like things that are more important to me than dating.
Yeah.
So I haven't had a lot of time to.
So you're focused. You're like all in on the business aspect of this.
100%.
You're just not even focused on going on dates or anything like that.
Yeah, I've always been super ambitious. I just didn't know what my path would be. And I'm just so happy that I've finally found something that doesn't feel like work. Like I can pour my energy into all these things and I'm not nervous. It doesn't feel like work and I can work a lot of hours at it.
Okay.
And that's why I'm happy that I made this choice.
I love it. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for your future too. Jesse and I talked before you were going on the show a little bit. So to see like how far you've come just in that time period is super exciting. Now we play nice with everyone from Bravo because we want to continue to have people from Bravo on our show. And we do have a Bravo representative in the house here. So
give it up for Brittany.
Brittany's here. Brittany, you can give us the thumbs up or down for these questions if you can or can't answer them. But if I don't answer them, then my team, the whole listening audience yells at me. But can you talk at all about how much you were paid and how you negotiated?
For sure not.
Okay, that's a big no. Okay, we have two thumbs down over there.
I can say that
how many episodes is it, the show?
It's 17.
It's around 20,
the
right?
reunions. Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you that. Can you share? You give us a thumbs up or down. Is it like one lump sum or is it paid on an episodic basis?
It's per episode.
Per episode. Okay. All right. Sounds good.
But
is it changing your life?
The Bravo money is not life changing your first year.
Okay.
But it increases over time.
Okay. Without getting anyone else in trouble, we'll kind of end it there. But I will ask you this: as a business owner and an entrepreneur, when it does come time to negotiate, is that like, are you going to be taking entrepreneurial tactics with your negotiating? Or are you just like, listen, I love this. Just put me on the next season, please.
Yeah, I'm a big picture guy, but no, I will definitely, I negotiate everything. My dad's a lawyer. I have a lawyer.
As a former agent, will you represent yourself?
No.
You'll have an agent?
I do.
Oh,
I mean, for a lot of things, it's just kind of good now that I'm the talent. It's good to take yourself out of the equation.
I know you got one agent over there that brings you deals, but like who would negotiate your deal then? Someone from WME?
I have a friend who is acting as my manager right now, and she is amazing.
Is it really just you in an email acting as someone else, or is it
No, it's not. Her name's Nikki, and she is an actual lawyer, and she has my best interest at heart. So it's kind of nice having a friend do this.
I love it. That's awesome. Well, good for you. Is there any word, again, you can give us a thumbs up or down because we want to make sure we're playing nice with a network we love and want to continue to work with. But is there any word on a potential renewal? Do you know if next season's in the picture?
Yeah, we got renewed, brother.
And you'll be a big part of it. Or you'll be a part of it.
I can't say
that's what I'm not. I know the show's got renewed. I'm talking about you. You're my guest.
We got all-time viewership, brother. We're gonna be back. I mean,
you expect to be back on the next season?
Yeah.
You're hopeful.
I'm very hopeful that I will be in the Hamptons. I will be in the Hamptons regardless of if I'm on the show, but I'm hopeful it'll be on the show.
I like it. Something tells me that business brain is like, I'm going to stay focused on business. And if I start dating, I'm going to make sure it's on camera because that's part of my business.
I mean, I'm only going to date someone if they're a good fit for me or a good potential fit. I can't just date somebody because it's good TV.
That's good. So for you, when you look at now you're into this new world, when you're looking, because there's sing it, baby. We got a 6'5" Aladdin right here. That's a whole different story. But do you, all right, you're now in the creator space. You're now a reality TV star. Would you date someone that's listening to this that's not in the reality TV space? That's not a creator. Okay.
Yeah. I haven't run into anyone who won't date me because I'm on TV yet, but I'm sure that will happen.
Yeah.
So I'm very much focused on the career stuff. But if the right girl comes along, I would still date her. Okay. I would just hope that somebody who loves and understands me would like want to be a part of my lifestyle.
Yeah.
So hopefully it would just go hand in hand.
Really cool. Okay. As you look to your career now in this creator space, you said it's giving you a lot of access. You're loving it. Do you have, like, when you're obviously a numbers guy too, do you have certain goals? Like, I'm trying to monetize at this level, or I'm trying to hit a certain following by this period, or I'm trying to do X amount of posts. Like, what's your business approach or business model or business plan to this now new business that you got almost like thrown into?
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about, given it's a digital world, I think it's better to post more days than you don't.
Yeah.
But, don't overpost if you have nothing going on. But luckily, I have a lot going on. So I'm trying to post as much as I can. A goal as far as making money, I want to be making millions a year.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, for sure.
But,
When manifested here, at what year will Jesse be making millions a year off his personal brand? Give it to me.
I hope people don't think I'm a cock for talking about
no, you're manifesting
my own personal fucking
This is what the show
money.
is, what we do here. Well, hang on. So just so you understand.
Do people speak about their net worths on
everything.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They give every number. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. You talked about intention, flirting intention. With this show, I really try and do a good job of this, is that the idea is with anything that's shared as it relates to numbers and transparency, is for a purpose of like productivity and education. Mm-hmm. It's not a means to flaunt, brag, or flex. It's a means to say like, hey, I used to be in finance. I now took a shot. I'm in reality TV. I'm working on building this brand, and I might have a chance to make millions. And maybe there's someone that's out there that has a small business or that's thinking about stepping into creating or got offered a reality TV job, whatever it might be. Through what you're experiencing, your transparency to it can give them direction as they navigate financial life. Because I have my overall thesis is when it comes to negotiating and when it comes to spending and when it comes to anything money, we were never taught money. Therefore, we don't know how to talk about it. And as a means of that, we have been told that is almost unethical. It's against etiquette to speak with it. Yeah. But if we don't speak about it, we know that we're going to make less. We know we're going to spend more. And we know that our relationships, as far as like love and money, they become a disaster when we don't speak about it. So like that's the thesis of the podcast.
Amen.
So what I would say is like when you think through something like an answer like that, the idea isn't to do like a flex. I'm going to make 10 million. It's to be like, no, I'm going to really work my ass off in this. And if I can make 7 figures in 3 years, that would be a dream, right? It's like it's more of an educational tool. Yeah,
I would say in 2025, if I made $1 million, and I would just like to clarify that I also still am actively working in finance.
Yeah.
Not in a 40-hour-a-week capacity. I think that's why a lot of people on our show don't have like a full-time thing, is because it's just difficult with, I mean, you sound like a wuss saying that it's difficult to like go to the Hamptons and be on TV, but there's just like a lot that goes into it that the viewer doesn't see during the week.
The time like anything in filming, the time commitment usually is pretty exorbitant. Like there's a lot of hours of filming, right?
Yeah.
Like so
I help businesses find alternative capital to traditional bank financing.
Okay, cool.
And then I also offer some of those deals out to investors to syndicate into those loans.
Sure. Cool.
So,
and you're doing, would you say 20 hours a week? 10, 20 hours?
I would say between 10 and 20 hours working on that. And it's more like I have a deal, I blast it out to a group of investors. They say if they're interested in the deal or not, and I match them up and take a management fee.
Now, you're not working for a corporation where the bureaucracy is important because you're working for yourself. But have you run into any issues when you're working with an investor group, even though you're working for yourself and you're trying to structure a deal and they're like, you're the guy on Summer House that's like making out with girls?
Yeah.
Have those worlds collided business-wise?
Yeah. I mean, the job that I had when I was on the show is not the job that I have now.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get too much into that, but
I've been there. I lost my job.
Yeah. I was working in a private credit fund that was the largest lenders to the cannabis industry. And I was raising money for that strategy. But they have a publicly traded entity, and there's governance and compliance and things that go along with running that operation. So yeah, having a guy on Summer House drinking is probably not the best look for the firm. But yeah, so the short answer is yes.
Yeah.
I have run into that, but right now I'm in a really good place.
Okay. Very cool. One thing you've also been vulnerable about, talked about it, I think it was the May 16th episode, about your emotions running high as you expressed your anxiety with your upcoming 5-year cancer
the May
scan,
16th
right?
episode.
The May 16th episode. So I think your vulnerability to that was inspiring, and it allowed you to connect and impact a lot of people, which was your overall goal. Can you share a little bit about your decision to share that journey? Was there any reluctancy?
Yeah, there was never a decision. It was always part of who I am. It plays into so many factors in my life. And I would say I felt a little rushed into sharing it with the house, but I wasn't scared. But there is that first episode where I'm sitting on a bench with like Amanda and Gabby, and everybody's drunk, and the girls are asking me a million questions. And they're like, "Can you give the guy a second to answer?" Like, they're immediately asking like, "What's the worst thing that ever happened to you?" And I was like, I fell off my bike one time. I was like, what do I lie about here? Like, I didn't want to. You don't
go
just
right
show
into
up.
it. No,
you want to get to know people a little bit and keep it authentic. But it's just a big part of my life, and I wasn't hesitant to share it. I know there's a stigma associated with cancer and testicular cancer, but I just thought that my story could encourage people to check themselves, to go to the doctor and get checked, and to just know that there's other people out there going through something similar, and you can beat this, you're going to beat this, and you're going to come out the other side and be partying with your friends in the Hamptons.
How often should we get checked, knowing what you know now?
I believe the guidance for testicular cancer is to grab your nuts every month. It's either every month or every 3 months. The delivery of that caught me off guard. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Grab your nuts every month.
Grab your nuts every month. Yeah, and don't panic because nuts are a complicated thing.
They are. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, you'd think it was just smooth and simple, but so don't worry too much, but just make sure if you see anything new, if you feel anything new.
Normal. Okay.
And then go to the doctor once a year. I feel like people stop getting a physical once like their mom stops making them go. Like, we're supposed to go to the doctor every year, get blood work, get a checkup, see how everything's going.
Confession though, I when I was like with a pediatrician, I feel like they checked for hernia or like pants down every time. But since I've been an adult, I mean, I do blood work, all that stuff, but I've never had them do that.
Right. But
is that common?
Yeah, I don't think they continue to check it unless you complain of symptoms.
Okay. So it's a lot of onus on, like you said, grab your nuts.
Grab your nuts.
Do some inspection.
Yeah, ladies, grab your boobs.
Okay. We'll do some grabbing out here, but only grabbing of your own property. That's what we're endorsing.
And then the blood work. I mean, there's things in your
point.
Blood work that will show signs.
That's a good point.
It's just good to go to the doctor. Even if you feel good, you got to check the insides.
Okay, let's talk about impact. You said you would do this show. One of the big incentives for you to do it was if you could make impact to one person. Obviously, a show like Summer House is one of the biggest shows out on TV. What kind of impact have you seen, or like things have you received from being vulnerable? And I ask you this because I think for anyone anyone out there that's like thinking twice about being vulnerable, you are a living example of those who share can create impact, even if it's one person.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I get goosebumps thinking about the messages and the cameos where people say, my dad's going through chemo right now. Like, can you cheer him up? Can you give him a pump up speech? And like, those are my favorites. Like, I get so amped up. I'm like, you're going to come out the other side of this so much happier and so much better for it. Like, this is just a short period of time that you got to work through. Just so many DMs, so many comments of people who, you know, everybody knows somebody who has cancer. So I think whether that person has cancer or they know somebody who has cancer, it's just kind of relatable to see somebody going through something like that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that story. And for anyone out here that's listening, you know, feel free to reach out to Jesse with any questions and grab your nuts. And if you got boobs, grab your boobs. All right, let's transition to what I'm going to call our Talk Money to Me segment. So you are single, and I wrote the book Talk Money to Me,
I thought we were out of the money.
Yeah, no, and so this is fun. This is a fun way. What I like to say is for people like you that are sweating a little bit with money, what I like to say is we can actually ask questions that are easy, that make money conversations fun, especially when we're dating. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you some questions that I suggest people when they're dating to start bringing into to have light money conversations because you are single, you're on the market. There might be some people listening to this that are interested in you. So the first one is how would you define your relationship with money in just 3 words?
Oh, depends on the month, brother.
This month, today.
Today, it's feeling abundant.
Abundant? Okay, so your relationship with money is abundant.
Yeah, like I feel positive.
Okay, so if you have a positive relationship with money, abundant,
generous.
And generous.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are your 3. Now, how about what is one thing right now that you overspend on? You know you overspend on, unless you go completely broke, you're going to keep spending on it. What is it?
I mean, I have 2 rents right now, but
where?
I think it's a good business move, honestly.
In New York?
One in New York and one in Miami.
So then you could be a Florida state resident?
That's not the reason, but when I was filming Summer House, I was living in NoHo, and I was always planning to move to Miami in the fall. The company I was working at was based in Miami. Obviously, that job doesn't work out, but I went to the U. I have all my friends in Miami. I love the lifestyle. I'd lived in New York for 6 years. I was ready to go back to Miami. And then you film Summer House, whatever. I got to be back here again this summer. So now I have both. But I'm not upset about it.
Okay. You know my next question. I can't ask you how much you make on Summer House, but I can ask you how much you're paying in rent. How much? I do have a productive reason why I'm asking. I'll share right after.
Do people share how much they pay in rent on
People
the show?
share everything on this show. Kyle Cook just opened up his whole portfolio.
My combined rent is about $6,000.
Can you, and here's the productive way, can you, with that rent, because you did say it's a good business move, can you write off any of that for like office space?
Yeah,
or
you can.
I'm trying to listeners back home, you have 2 rents, which sounds exorbitant to people, but there's obviously productivity in it. So what is your productivity?
Yeah, you can write off a small office space. I mean, being a Florida resident, there's no state tax.
Huge.
So I would just say that like appearances, I'm starting to get offered money for appearances.
Yeah.
And sure, Summer House would like fly me for confessionals and stuff like that. But if I want to do an appearance in New York, I want to have a place to crash.
Yep. And a lot of times appearances, back end to give people information, is they'll typically pay you a talent fee. Not always will they cover flight and hotel. They'll usually sometimes just lump it into talent fee. Now, sometimes they'll pay for that. So if you have a place and your talent fee includes a hotel or $500,000, whatever it is now in New York, which is crazy, and you already have a place that you're renting for $3,000, business-wise, it could be justified, right? So I also think another productive means of this conversation is if you look at a price-to-rent ratio, right now, price-to-rent ratios are in major favor of renting given the costs of real estate. So it could be much more people listening. So, you should buy. Well, renting the place in 2 different cities actually could be much more beneficial.
Yeah, with interest rates. I mean, I would love to buy, but right now it just makes sense to rent given I don't know the direction of my life or who I'm going to fall in love with and where they're going to live.
I love it. I got another money one for you.
Ooh.
See, here we go. $100,000 today. It's right in front of you, right here. Okay, you got to spend. See, you're smiling. You like it. See, this is good. Money. Now you're not nervous anymore. You got to spend $100K.
Was I nervous?
Well, you like the money conversation. You're getting a little squirmy on me. Now you're ready to go. 100K is right here. 24 hours. It has to be spent. Every penny. Where are you spending it?
For fun or for business?
You can spend. It's your 100K. Where's it going? You can do anything with it.
We're going out.
And where are we going?
The boys are going to the club.
What club? Give me the details.
Oh.
Give me the details.
I mean, we went to Little Sister for my birthday. That was a lot of fun.
Okay, what kind of bottles you getting?
I mean,
you got 100K.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need just Casamigos is good. Grey Goose for the vodka. I'm not trying to waste money, so I'm not doing like Ace of Spades. That's just ridiculous.
Not a big
champagne
guy.
Also is like hurts my stomach if I'm like chugging it. It's just for show, and I don't need to like show money like that.
Yeah.
I would get like a table situation at Brooklyn Mirage. I love. Instead of Little Sister, I'm not like going back to back. Maybe I do. But Brooklyn Mirage could be fun with like a group of friends at a table. That's expensive. Business wise, if I had $100,000, I'm probably like combining that with my own personal net worth to put a down payment on some real estate.
Cool.
And then I'm syndicating into these deals that I broker. They're high interest deals, so I'm investing it.
You might have to give me a call. I might have to get into some of these deals. Come on, get me in some of these deals.
Yeah, you can get in.
All right, I love it. No, I think that's good. I think that like just in that question, now I understand like experiences are important too. That's why I tell people when you're dating, like have these questions because then you start to understand where people want to spend money and why they want to spend it and things like that.
Yeah, I would travel too. Like there's a lot of things I would do.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, do you have any type of financial no-nos when it comes to dating? So someone's going on a date with you and they tell you something about their finances and you're like, that red flag, I'm out, not touching it with a 10-foot pole.
I mean, it would maybe be a turnoff if a girl was like, I never want to work or provide or do anything.
Okay.
But it's definitely not like a complete no.
Okay.
But yeah, I like when the girl like maybe gets a lunch, maybe gets a little croissant and brings it one day, like just sweet little things.
You like a little balance, like a little bit of a balance.
First few dates, until she's my girlfriend, I'm paying for everything that we're doing is my kind of rule of thumb. Okay,
there's your rule of thumb. If you're out there looking to go on a date with Jesse, you got a little couple tips and insight into it. Also, bring him a croissant, maybe pay for a lunch or two. I think he'd appreciate it. All right, let me ask you this. You got some platform behind you. You have some fans. You're growing by the second. Business-wise, what do you see other than appearances, content creation, right? We've brought Kyle's name up a few times. Obviously, he has a spritz. Do you see any type of future business ownership plays that you're thinking about? And if you're not thinking about it, what does it look like?
Yeah. Can I just go back to the question earlier about, did I do this for the followers too? Like you can look at previous guys on this show, like the followers aren't guaranteed. Like there's guys that have 10, 20,000 followers. So it was never like a shoo-in that I was going to gain notoriety. And I'm still like kind of coming into my own and coming to terms with the fact that I have over 100,000 people who want to know what I'm doing.
You also don't know, like, I mean, I think, who's two great examples, Paige Sorber and Hannah Berner. Like back in 2019, 18, the first time I met them, they had like, I think it was like probably 100, 200,000 followers, right?
Yeah.
And you look at them today, I mean, they have millions and they're killing it, right? Yeah. So like, it's not a shoe and it's not a guarantee and you don't know when and if it will pop or ever will pop for sure.
Totally. But to answer your question, I think going into this, I was excited about starting another business. That was kind of like a big thing for me was I'd done like a B2B marketplace, a business to business kind of company. And then I was interested in starting something that was more consumer products focused. So selling something to consumers, not to businesses.
Yeah.
And then as I started to do the show and I saw all the different brand opportunities that kind of poked their heads out and, seeing how successful Paige is between the podcast. Like I did the Amazon Live yesterday. I loved it. Like I enjoy hosting. I would love to be a judge on American Idol or like Terry Crews on Dancing with the Stars, whatever show. He like those opportunities I love. But I would like to have equity in another business, and my friends and I are talking about starting a men's bathing suit line.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm very glad you didn't say canned cocktail.
Yeah.
You would have to have a few more podcasts about that. So I think that's cool. I think in the men's bathing suit industry, it kind of needs something new. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it was Vilebrequin when I was in college, and that's like a $300 plus price point. And I think there's room in the market for, I mean, if you want to take my idea, I guess.
No, I'm not going to do this one.
No, not you.
I'm
like telling everyone, but
you're showing them your playbook.
Yeah, I think there's like, you know, $100 to $200 price point where you just do bathing suits well.
Interesting. I feel like Hamptons is definitely going to be.
It goes along with my
market.
brand nicely.
Yeah.
I think like I'm a fun-loving.
What kind of shirt are you wearing there?
This is from Reese.
How much does that cost?
Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
How about that? How about that chain? That looks pretty nice.
No, I mean this chain is like it just has a music note on it. My stylist got it on the street of New York, but this one's real.
That's cool.
You can get a Tribeca, and they just weigh it on a scale based on how long it is.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
It's white gold.
Oh, wow. We got to do that.
Let's all go.
Let's go do that.
The boys are buzzing.
Boys, we'll do that. Then we'll go to Little Sisters. Then we'll go to, what's it called? Brooklyn Mirage?
Brooklyn Mirage.
Is that where you young kids party now?
Yeah, I like dance music. So.
Yeah, I could tell. What kind of dance music?
Just like house music.
Okay.
And
I like it.
I would say like my biggest toxic trait is that I listen to like dubstep when I'm working out.
Interesting.
Yeah, biggest red flag is I enjoy dubstep.
That's a red flag.
I just get hyped up.
You also, the only other red flag I've seen, because you seem like a great guy. You are a great guy. Is when you walked in, you did reference yourself in the third person. That's a red flag.
What did I say?
You said, is Jesse Solomon going to eat an apple on this thing or something? You did say that. And I was like, if he says that on the bottom,
what a loser. Who did that?
But he takes ownership. I love it. That's a green flag. If you can make fun of yourself and have fun with it, that is a beautiful thing. You've had a wild career trek in a very short period of time in this entertainment space. You are buzzing. Things are moving in your direction. Your vulnerability has, been a massive creator of connection for you with the audience. And now I have a feeling that your dating life is going to have massive entertainment and connection with the audience. It sounds like we're going to see you on the next season. You know what? I'm not even going to ask you to confirm or deny. I think you already confirmed it. Kind of passively.
You are sick.
And you've given us ideas of where you're going and where you've been. So, Jesse, this has been a great episode of Trading Secrets, but we got to wrap with the Trading Secrets. So you've had a really interesting career track. It could be a money tip, life tip, career navigation tip. It can be only a secret that you know from the experiences you've had, and it could just be connected to what you went through with your cancer recovery and treatment. But one trading secret from Jesse Solomon, what can you leave us with?
My life motto has always kind of been luck is when preparation meets opportunity. It's something my dad always says. And, I feel like, sure, Summer House reached out to me, but I was ready for it. And I'd been working hard and doing everything I could to kind of, take full advantage of that opportunity. So there's still a lot to go. A lot of reality TV people are just a flash in a pan. So I'm trying to stay focused on building a sustainable career at all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And I feel very lucky. Yeah, you do feel lucky. But that's a result of putting yourself in a position to be lucky, which I think is a great trading secret you had. We're excited to continue to watch you on Bravo, and we're excited for what's next. For anyone that wants to follow you or wants a little bit more of what you got going on, where can they find everything you have? My TikTok and Instagram are Jesse Sols. Whoever Jesse Solomon is really stole that from me. JESSESOLS. And then if you want to email me, investors looking to put money to work, it's Jesse M as in Michael Solomon, SOLOMON @gmail.com. Is that for the alternative investment? Yeah. Shoot me that deck. I want to see that. Okay. I'm interested. Yeah, we're looking at starting a full fund too. Oh, interesting. Yeah, to diversify across a broad spectrum of deals rather than go into individual deals.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah,
I'm
next
interested.
podcast.
Next podcast. I feel like we're going to have you on. Like 1 year from now, you're coming back on. We're going to talk about all the things. It'll be interesting to see. And 1 year from now, are you in a relationship? Take a guess.
Dude, I mean, I've been looking for the right girl for a long time. So I hope she's out there. She's got to be. Come on.
It's June 2025. Are you in a relationship? Yes or no?
I mean, I've been out of a relationship for so long. It's hard to imagine myself in one. I got to get some dating advice from you.
So you think no?
I hope yes.
Okay. You hope yes, but you think Vegas odds have you at no?
I'm very optimistic about life, but for some reason I'm slightly pessimistic about finding like a lifelong partner. But having a family is like the most important thing to me. So I'm going to be looking hard, and hopefully I can find her in the next year.
And I'll tell you this, from all the research I did, even quoting a date of a specific episode, May 16th, I didn't get your age. How old are you?
I just turned 31.
Just turned 31. Time is on your side, but you're in a good spot to get all those things you want. So Jesse, thank you so much for being on this episode of Trading Secrets.
Thanks for having me, brother. It was good.
It was awesome.
Appreciate you.